I could also just be loud, but we put this on YouTube and stuff, so it's kind of nice to, oh, got tangled up in the wires. This is me, hello. How's everyone doing? Wow, whoa, oh my, keep it down. It's a little loud. It's so good to hear from everyone. Wow, it's an honor to be here, a pleasure, a privilege. Oh, I think I tested this earlier. I gotta take off my case for the cable to make. I'm gonna be showing you some stuff on my phone. I'm gonna use my phone to present. Isn't that strange? You'd expect me to use a laptop. And who here, by a show of hands, knows the term vibe coding? Okay, we got this. Okay, yeah, I didn't think this would be a secret anymore. I tried to keep it, but apparently it got out. Thank you. So I have a problem. And my problem is that my best thoughts come to me while I'm on the toilet. When I'm laying in bed and I'm about to go to bed and I'm trying to sleep, trying to forget the day, I think, oh, if only I could boot my computer on for a couple seconds and make that change to my code base. Yeah, I could write down a note, it's fine, it works, and then try and follow it up later, but the passion is in that moment. And in order to solve this problem, I decided I wanted to be able to code from my phone. I wanted to be able to do everything I could do from a computer from my phone. And it was awful. It was not a great experience. It's a tiny little screen. Trying to code like PNPM start. Oh, I hated it. It was an awful experience. But years later, the advent of vibe coding and AI tools really changed this for me. Suddenly, I was able to, instead of having to write code through the syntax of Rust or JavaScript or some other high-level programming language, I could describe my problem in plain language and get it to solve it for me. And so I wanted to do this for my phone. And I used Cursor. Cursor didn't really work on my phone very well. I tried remote desktop. There's a bunch of things I tried. And since I have a short time period, we have 10 minutes together, I'm just going to kind of show you what it looks like when I want to work on something to kind of pique your interest in it, and know you could set up a similar environment for yourself. Even if you have an iPhone, it's a little bit different, but it does exist. So let's start with this, vibes.easyeasy.win. This is a website that's up right now. You could easily open it up and check it out. It's just a placeholder website that says coming soon with a little, you can get something emailed. Well, let's say I want to edit this website. To do it, I'm just going to open up the project. So let's change into my project directory. And this part is a little bit not the, and then I'm going to run up Claude. And Claude will start running. And instead of trying to type in here everything that's going to happen, I'll just speak what I want it to do to the website. So I'll say, tell Claude, I'm desperate for work and I want you to convince everyone that they should hire me. Please go ahead and make this React app a simple website talking about why they should hire a software engineer named Ezekiel Lopez. And commit and push afterwards. And just like that, I've told it what I want it to do. I hit send. It's going to start doing it. If you've used Claude Code before, this shouldn't be like magic for you. Just the fact I'm using it from my phone is kind of interesting. It's going to start reading through my project, doing its agent stuff, figuring out what it needs to edit. And as it's doing that, I'll kind of talk to you about the infrastructure this uses. There's going to be a couple times. The first time you use Claude Code, you have to tell it, hey, it's okay to edit files. Hey, it's okay to run things in the command line. But after you do that, during the session, it should be able to keep doing stuff. And I can close this and go to other things on my phone, browse TikTok, play Minesweeper, or whatever I want to do, keep sleeping. And it'll run everything. So the infrastructure I'm using, I have an app called Termux on my Android device, which is a full Linux environment. You can root your device, get extra like sudo permissions, but even without rooting your device, it's very, very powerful. I have Node on it, I have Docker on it, I have all my package managers, and I'm able to run it the way I would. So right here it's asking me, do you want to edit these files? And I'm going to tell it, you can edit not just this file, but any file in the future, because I'm happy with it making edits. And then there's also things like, so Termux, that's the environment. That gives me the terminal Linux-like environment. I'm using something called Tmux on top of it, which is like a window thing. These things are not super important to know, just knowing they exist. And then inside Tmux, I have Claude Code running. This is all locally on my phone, not connecting via like SSH to another machine. So I can interact with it as long as I have some kind of network. Now it's saying, can you run build? So right here, I actually don't want to do this. It says npm run build, and I'm going to tell it, no, you're not allowed to do that. And I'm going to say 3 no, and I'm going to say, we use pnpm. And then just tell it that. And instead of using npm now, it should ask me to do pnpm, and I'll tell it, yeah, you can run build, I don't care. It's not, that's not what I needed. I actually don't need it to build because it's going to build over on, I don't want it to build. I'm going to tell it, no. Just commit and push instead of building. There we go, that should be good. I could run and build it locally, but I have, so Termux, Tmux, and Claude Code running locally, and then Git obviously pushes to my GitHub repository. I have GitHub set up with a CI/CD pipeline where it will then build and deploy it to I have a VPS that I have through Arachnerd, and it's like $10 a year for me to run it, and I put a bunch of like side projects on there. And then it pushes it to a software called CapRover, which is a platform as a service, makes it look like Netlify. But you could use any of these drop-in replacements if you don't want to use your own, like my stack. And so this is all changes that have been committed. I could even check out and make sure that it's currently working by going to my repositories on GitHub and saying, okay, what actions have going on? And it shows that I just had an action deploy and it's running it. I don't usually check this. I usually just give it a minute to finish running. And after it finishes that, it's going to, so now the action finished running and it deployed it, but it's going to take a second to build on my VPS. And then I'll be able to go to my VPS, which is what's running this website, and just refresh. And there it goes, hire Ezekiel Lopez. And it has a little thing about why hire me, and it looks not awful. Maybe I don't like some things about it, but it's really easy for me to go right back to Termux and just tell it again, like, oh, I want you to do this now. Oh, I want you to do this now. Since I'm a team player, I'm not. I hate working with teams. I'm joking. But I didn't want to get too much into the weeds. I know of a short period of time. How much time are we looking at right now? I forgot to put a timer on.
You got it.
Okay. I'm going to do one more suggestion, just if anyone's, how many of you guys have used Claude Code? Okay, so fewer people. Maybe this is the first time seeing Claude Code. It's similar to like Cursor or Lovable or Replit, if you've ever heard of those tools, but it works instead as a command line tool, which is why I can use it inside the terminal. And let's say I don't like this pink-blue background. I'm going to say, so I can come right back over and just tell it, I think the pink-blue background looks kind of tacky. Come up with 10 things that would make this look more professional and implement those. And then maybe I'll add to it. This is going to be a mobile-first website, so make sure the mobile development is optimized. And then just send it like that. And in plain language, I'm able to kind of guide it to where I want it to go. Normally, I'm not building a website as simply as this. Usually, I'm working on some kind of like backend feature, having it write tests, and then I'll have like a simple portal that's protected through like HTTP security on the front end, where I just have to enter a simple password to be able to see a UI that then tells me what the results of the test are on the remote machine, and that it's doing what I want it to do. And those are useful too, but I thought this was a pretty, I feel like a lot of people, personal portfolio pages kind of thing, it's a universal topic, so here we are. And since I already accepted all those other things, I can literally just close it and open up Minesweeper. It's no problem. Or maybe I'll open up chess and we'll play a chess game. You guys can watch me play. And come back to it whenever I feel like I want to come back to see how it's going. Maybe I'll take a question if we have anything. I don't know if oh, sorry. Give me 1 second. He's going to bring a microphone over to you. That way you're more heard. Yeah, it's just the video can't hear you otherwise.
What VPS do you use?
Do you want to repeat the questions?
So for what VPS is, or for what VPS I use a VPS, I use a number of them. For work, I use AWS EC2. For any like production application, I'm probably gonna go with Hetzner or DigitalOcean. But for these side projects, which I have a lot of little side projects that I throw up and don't really get users, they're just for me to use. I use something called Racknerd. Racknerd is like incredibly well priced. You can get deals for over 4 terabytes of monthly egress or network traffic for less than $10 a year. That's under $1 a month. And it beats out, I have a Pi that I could self-host on, and it beats out the cost of electricity of me running like an ESP32 at home to run it, and it has more RAM, and I love it. Yeah. Does that answer your question? Okay. No, pleasure.
Did you install a bunch of apps inside of Termux? Did you use like package install?
Yeah. So Termux. Oh, it's asking me, can I make this commit? And I said yes, I do want to.
Did you say that's Claude code?
Yeah, this is Claude code that's running in the Termux, the terminal. So it's a full Linux environment. I mean, Android is Linux. So you're able to, I have like your package manager is called PKG instead of apt or DNF. And I installed through PKG, I installed Node. And then once I had Node installed, I had NPM. So I used NPM to install Claude. Claude can be run through the Node package manager. And then I also installed PNPM because I tend to have a lot of repositories that share similar Node modules. So PNPM helps me manage that. And does that answer your question?
Yeah, do you have like a README somewhere?
I do. I actually, before I did this on the Discord in the event talk channel, I made a post where I had links to everything and describing the general infrastructure. So yeah, happy to. Great question. I should have mentioned that.
Is this Terminix something on the Linux, a terminal on the Linux? I'm sorry for the
So the question was, is Termux something other than Linux, or?
No, I'm thinking, I visualize it as some kind of terminal on Linux.
It's an app. So on my Android device, I downloaded an app through the App Store called Termux, and Termux just lets me use a shell, the native Android Linux shell. It routes all the similar commands you would expect to use in Linux, and it works pretty well. It is a command line interface. Okay. Yeah. I guess you could say that. Go ahead.
Right. Given that 2 different AIs deleted people's code in the last week alone, what is your backup process?
So that's a great question. There are 2 big things. I think as AI is going along, if you vibe too hard, you can vibe dangerously and end up injuring yourself or other people. So what do you do to avoid getting injured? And there's a ton of best practices that I could go into that I don't want to spend too much time on. But to answer your question, version control, extremely important. And also, every time it asks me to run a command, I approve it for that specific command. So with Claude Code and other AI agents, you can whitelist commands. So I say git add, no problem. You can always do git add. But rm-rf, no preserve root, no way, never in any circumstance are you allowed to run that, which is the command to remove everything. So you can whitelist or blacklist certain commands, and it'll ask you beforehand what you want it to do. And I give it power as I see fit, kind of thing. Does that answer your question?
It does, but the 2 examples I'm thinking of, it actually disobeyed its command. So it would essentially not ask you and just deleted their whole Git repository.
Oh, you're probably thinking of a tool other than Claude Code then. Claude Code is not able to do that. But
Claude Code's a saint.
I love Claude Code's my best friend. Claude Code would never hurt me. Me and Claude Code gives me nutrition advice, therapy, doctors, anything I need. Go ahead, please.
I was just gonna I was just going to add to that there are, I don't know if you use these, but there are some database providers that provide version control on top of the database as well, if you've seen that. Yeah. Have you used any of those?
I've used RDS and AWS DynamoDB, which they have some like basic versions of that built in where you can roll back to different versions and it's managed. I don't really like to use those ones a whole lot because for me personally, it's like I'm paying a premium for this service. I think if it was a production app, maybe it would make sense. But for me personally, I love SQLite. SQLite, I can handle hundreds of thousands of users, real-time events, and concurrent writes, and it never has an issue.
Well, then that could go right in your version control.
Exactly. I can have SQLite directly in my version control, and then I just have Git manage it, which I love Git, and we're great. I also, to try and combat like losing code, because I'm coding on my phone, on my computer, on a remote device, on a bunch of different things to keep them all synced, I have not only GitHub, but also a Gitea instance on my home server. And Gitea is like or Gitee is a like self-deployed GitHub alternative, and you can have it update and sync with your GitHub repository. So it automatically on my thing is just keeping everything the same. So I have a lot, it all controlled in a lot of different places. But go. Do we have any more questions?
I think we have time for one more question. If
Okay.
anyone has one more question.
Let's see it. Let's see. Oh, the website. Yes. Okay. That's chess, not a website. It got rid of the background, made it look a little more professional, and I think this does look better. It still reeks of AI to me. If I was building something personally, I might like give it some more specifications as to what I want. But it looks good. It's not. I mean, this is a really great starting point. And to get here in the couple seconds we're talking to each other, something I do on the go. Thank you for your time. I'm so glad I solved this problem.
One point, your address was ezekiellopez@example.com.
I would have to tell Claude, hey, that's the wrong email address.
Okay. All right. Everybody remember, vibe responsibly. So next up, we have Javier, I believe, talking about Azure Data Lakehouses, which I have no idea what that is, but we're going to find out just now. Everyone, a round of applause for Javier.
One, two, 1, 2. All right. Okay. Let's refresh. Any data engineers in here? Cloud engineers? No? DevOps engineers? No? All right. Cool, cool. Sounds good. Just refresh as well. Lock. Don't need it. There you go. Oh, subtitles. Let's try and remove those if possible. There we go. Cool. All right. So Azure infrastructure for the modern lakehouse. Let's see if this works. We're going to be talking about some of the data challenges that teams face, ETL versus ELT, data lakehouse architecture, medallion architecture, going over some Azure infrastructure as well, and the Databricks platform overview and a live demo. But before we begin, hello, my name is Javier. I'm a cloud engineer I primarily work with Azure, Terraform, and Databricks. I hold a few certifications, and usually when I'm not working, I'm walking my dog at the park, traveling, and hopefully getting back into photography. So, some challenges I've noticed so far is infrastructure sprawl, separate systems for data lakes, warehouses, data pipelines, machine learning platforms, visualization tools can make can be difficult for teams to keep up with all the changes. We want to avoid vendor lock-in, can either be in proprietary formats or features. Data lakes can become data swamps without proper governance. We want to have access control, see who has access to what, be able to do an audit trail, ability to prove data lineage for compliance, especially for those more companies like healthcare or finance. And then in here, our sources can be anything really, databases, applications, files. In my case, I'm using more of ELT than ETL. Internet of Things goes into a data lake. In my case, it's Azure Data Lake. And then you can use a couple of different services to do the transformations as well. In Azure, the native one would be Microsoft Fabric, but we also have third parties like Snowflake and Databricks. My team is really familiar with Spark and PySpark specifically, and Databricks integrates really well with Azure, so that was an easy choice for us here. A little bit of history in here. Before the cloud, kind of had data warehouse with structured data, transformations, then gets loaded up into another data warehouse. I usually think of like Oracle, and get your reports from there. The compute and the storage is coupled together in this instance. Then came cloud. Storage is quite affordable. It can take any, data lakes can take structured, semi-structured, unstructured data. For structured, that's like CSVs, Parquet files. Semi-structured, that's something like JSON. Unstructured, videos, pictures, things like that. You still do your transformations here, but you load a copy back into the data lake and another one into a data warehouse. So separate systems for your reports and your machine learning. More recent times, it's more common to see a data lakehouse architecture where we still have the same data lake, but we now have a metadata and governance layer on top. That is, with Databricks, we have Unity catalog, and then the metadata it's also used with Apache Iceberg or Delta Lake, which are file formats that we'll talk in a bit. And all your reports and machine learning can be done through here as well. I mentioned Apache Iceberg and Delta Lake. They're open table formats built on Apache Parquet. When I brought this up to my company, I was like, oh, there's a lot of benefits. It's ACID compliant. You're able to, they call it time travel, which just go back in time to a previous version as well. They didn't really care until I mentioned, oh, we'll be saving a lot of money if we go in Apache Iceberg or Delta Lake, because the faster it's able to do SQL queries, the faster those compute clusters for the SQL warehouse can shut down, saving money, and then save money on cost for storage as well, because it doesn't rewrite files over and over again. It just updates the metadata for them. Oh, and I should mention, when I joined my company, they were here with Apache Parquet. And now inside for data teams, you usually have batch processing or streaming. Batch processing is what we use at my company. Usually a cron job at a virtual machine that runs every hour, sends data to the data lake. This is what is referred to the medallion architecture, where the bronze storage container is for any raw data, then gets copied over to the silver storage container. This is where data engineers, data scientists do their work. And then whenever it's ready for machine learning or reports, it gets sent to the cold storage container. This is also nice because if they make any mistakes here, they can always go back to their raw storage container and get their data back and try again. Streaming, it's just as data comes in near real time, it gets processed and sent through the systems. Here is what it looks like in Azure for me. I have a virtual network. I have a virtual machine with a cron job, and in the same virtual network, I deployed the DEVxSD workspace. Microsoft calls this VNet injection when you throw in inside your own virtual network. Inside, there's compute clusters that handle the transformations, and there's a SQL warehouse that handles the SQL queries for the visualization tools. And this can be Power BI, Tableau, anything really. I work in the medical field, so we have a custom application that visualizes waveforms and vital signs, patient data. So it's a custom Node.js application that connects to the SQL warehouse. Inside the Databricks account, we have a Metastore at the top. That's one per region. You can have multiple workspaces between inside a Metastore, but you usually want to avoid having too many because it becomes a management issue. You divide your clients or departments through the catalogs. I have one per client, or internal companies can also do kind of like a dev environment, test environment, and another one for prod. External locations are just the pointers to those storage containers I mentioned earlier. Storage credentials are associated with a Unity catalog connector that has the identity and the permissions to do the work. And that's it. So if I go into my environment, my own account, let's see. Go inside the data lake, storage browser. I have the bronze, silver, and gold storage containers. If we go into the gold, we have a folder, but it's empty. So if we go back into the Databricks workspace, launch workspace, cool. Let's go over compute. I already have a cluster created here. I'll start that cluster because it can take a minute or two, but it's really easy to create a new one. Stay. For your machine learning, there's optimized for that right here. And you can really pick, I usually pick the latest version, latest table, and then there's quite a few options. I can imagine this being quite expensive if I were to do that, so stay away from that. Leave. And here's the SQL warehouse. Let's start this one up too. So if I go into the catalog.
Could you increase your size?
Oh, sure. Let's see. Is that better? Mm-hmm. All right. We can see the bronze, silver, and gold schemas. These are what point to those, to that data lake. Inside the workspace, if we go in here, I already have a notebook. And you can create one right here. You can also pull from your remote repos as well. In here, I have a fairly short PySpark notebook that runs a connectivity test to my data lake. So if we go through here, basically reads from the bronze schema, the bronze container, and it writes in Delta Lake. So let me see, it's still starting up, so it'll take a bit. Here is where you write what kind of file format you want to use. It can be Delta Lake, like I have here, Iceberg or Parquet. And it writes and saves as a table. Let's see. Any questions?
Just
Yeah.
one question about the catalog. In the Unity catalog, you have metastore, metadata of different companies, or what did you say? I didn't quite understand.
Oh, sure. So I can go back. So here, right? Let me see. Present. Can I present from here? Oh. Yeah, so
That's
here, yeah, this is where you would organize your company's data. It can be clients. I'm external, so we provide services to hospitals. So for me, every hospital gets their own catalog. If I were to work in a like internal company, just company information.
There are 4 hospitals, you have those 4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's really no limit to the amount of catalogs you can have inside a workspace. There is, but it's 1,000. So I don't think I'll be going over that anytime soon. But yeah, or departments. This could be different departments as well.
From here, those are schemas. Are they schemas or what are they?
Yeah, schemas are also known as databases in other systems. So there's also like AWS glue jobs. If you're more familiar with AWS, they call their schemas databases. And those are just what point to the bronze, silver, and gold containers in the data lake. The catalog has its own data lake as storage container as well in the data lake. But yeah, that's for like metadata.
Thanks.
Yes?
I saw something that said photon acceleration,
Yeah.
and I was like, what is it?
Yeah, that's kind of like to optimize the Databricks cluster. So kind of like does some things in the back end for it. I usually enable it. It can return some helpful results for machine learning, but not always. So it varies. But yeah. Let's see. It might still be trying to start.
A question I have is, I'm unfamiliar with Microsoft Azure or Databricks in this interface. It looks really pretty, but how much does this cost to use if you wanted to use it in a project?
Yeah, so Databricks recently released their own free version. So you can get started fairly easily. You don't need to understand Azure or AWS or GCP. Databricks works with all 3. So yeah, they just limit the amount of compute you can use per day, and it resets every single day. It's a pretty good way to get started with machine learning. Oh yeah, I should talk about that. So.
Or to put it another way, 4 times what DigitalOcean charges.
And then in production, it can vary. So for me, I'm not using the free version. I'm actually paying for the serverless clusters to shut down after 10 minutes. So not too much. Kind of like had them on and off the whole week. It's about $15, but meh, yeah. Anything else? Cool. So yeah, let's see. So you can run a couple of different models, open source models, run your machine learning types as well, serve it with an endpoint. Yeah, quite a few options. If we go back into the notebook, we can run that script. Scroll down here. We should eventually see some results. sometimes during the demos, they can fail as they do. So, fingers crossed. Looking good so far. And before this, I did upload a JSON file to the bronze storage container. And here we can see that our patients are not doing too well. They have quite a few issues to work on. And it's writing currently to the gold storage container. Looks like that went through. So if we go back into the catalog and we go into the gold schema that's connected to the gold storage container, we now have a table, patient data. Very nice. And one last thing before I go. Now that that's done, I can actually show all my infrastructures done through Terraform. If I go inside the SQL warehouse, I have a small Golang application that connects to that SQL warehouse that I mentioned, and normally you would use this for your SQL queries. So if I go in here, let me test out my luck and see if this will work. And I guess not. My luck ran out. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
What did your Terraform do? What did your Terraform do?
My Terraform, they built all the infrastructure for the Azure. So compute, the Databricks workspace, monitoring, networking, security, storage for the data lake, and other resources inside the Databricks workspace. It's all done through here. But yeah.
Any more questions? Okay. Very good. Thank you, Javier. Why don't you give him one more round of applause, please?
Patient 103 doesn't have a name in the table.
Yeah. Oh, still.
Close. And yeah, thanks again, Ezekiel. Good job. And now is a time where anyone can come up and for about 15 seconds share an announcement for the community. Projects or ideas, events or activities. This meme, which I don't understand still, or just introduce yourself. Anyone? Welcome, Hans.
Hello, I'm Hans. I work for a company called Multimedia LLC. We run a live streaming platform that's pretty giant. And I am hiring for my team. So I'm hiring for the platform engineering team. We work on tooling to help engineers move more quickly, so not building user-facing features, but building developer-facing applications. So if that's the kind of thing that interests you, you'd like to write Terraform like you just saw, or GitHub Actions and lots of YAML. You can find the job was posted on the Discord for DEVx, so join the DEVx Discord. There's lots of people in there, and the posting for my job's there, so apply.
Thank you, Hans. And we already have our next one. Jonathan?
Can I plug in my phone real quick? Where's the, this thing? It'll just show what's on the screen, right? Oh, it did show up. Yeah. Look at that. Okay. Hello. So I carpooled with Sam today, and what I learned is that the team that hosts this is spending a lot of time and every month quite a bit of money actually is about $170 this for today for food and beverages, And we talked a little bit about like getting some help. So if you are appreciative of them spending the money to get this up and running, I know some of you already saw the little thing they put up over there. I mean, it's not really for me, but it's for them. They would be so appreciative of you contributing a bit. So I made this QR code. It'll go to Sam's Venmo, and it's a suggested donation of $5 if you want to help out. Thank you so much. I'll leave this for now.
Our audience promoted us. Look at that.
Thank you, Jonathan. Sam?
Okay. I'm actually going to steal this cord one more time. We'll plug that back in, I guess, after. I just wanted, hey, everybody, you know who I am. I'm Sam, one of the organizers. I just wanted to do a quick shout out on this thing that we've been building at DEVx, kind of experimental. Yes, don't get ahead of ourselves yet. Let me just quickly share my screen here, screen mirror. Can we do that? We can, okay. So I just wanted to share a really cool app that we're kind of building called Megaphone. This is it right here. You can find it at megaphone.devx.network. However, what we are going to do is use this as an opportunity for you guys when you show up and have some pizza, kind of network. Maybe you're kind of here to actually work on your own projects and do things. So we have tables here. Usually, as soon as we open the door, these tables should be set up. And you can post up, bring your laptop, work on your whatever you're working on. And while that is happening, before we do the speaking events, we'll have this Megaphone app presenting slides from the community like this. Oops. Oh, that's a little too wide. There we go. Like this, that show whatever it is you're posting. So you can kind of see some of our community members have already been sharing some things that they're talking about and working on. And you can scan the QR code there, post whatever it is you're doing. It gives people opportunity to kind of share why they're here and what they're doing, and other people can view it while you're hanging out over here. So, cool little app. Wanted to announce it and share with you all, so that way you know in advance when you get here that this is a tool for all of us to use. So, yeah, that's it.
It looks beautiful. I love it. I'm so excited.
Very good. I know. Anyone else have a announcement or introduction?
If you're not aware, Comic-Con's going on.
Wow. Yeah, that's true. Dang. We should go. You guys want to go? For free. Oh, what? Come on up.
Thank you. Hello, hello. Is this thing on? Hey, everybody. I'm Glenn. Ooh, that's bright. And I just launched my project 3 days ago, Podscriber. Thank you. Which is a podcast transcription and content generation app for people who have podcasts and just audio content and make that stuff discoverable via the robots that are indexing the internet instead of being locked up as invisible audio content. So if you're anybody doing content, for example, it's a cool app to check out, and we'd love to talk to you more about it. Thanks.
Thank you, Glenn. I felt that nudge. Anyone else? Don't be shy. Ooh, hey, come on up.
Hobson Lane. Hobson Lane, Natural Language Processing in Action, second edition is out on your favorite bookstore. And that's nlpia.org. There's some videos about natural language processing, AI, and anybody who wants to partner on research. I'd love to get into the ARC challenge. If anybody's familiar with that, I'd love to work with you on it, ARC challenge. And Podscriber is spelled without an E. So podscriber.com is Glenn's app, and it's great.
Awesome. Anyone else? Okay. Well, I guess I got one. So Keith from SDX has been doing a couple of Pomodoro sessions, like online co-working events on Thursdays. And I don't know. I want to do one in person. So look for a announcement in the Discord channel. And unless there's another announcement. Oh, it'll be at coffee shops. Probably either Solana Beach, Italy, or Carlsbad. Thank you, Dusty. Oh, yeah. So, follow us at DEVxSD.network. That's our website. You can submit your talks, join our Discord community, and see upcoming events. And that is the last slide. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Eat the pizza, drink the drinks. There's a lot of beer. Oh, I love you too. Thank you.